All right, what's happening, everyone? Corey here. I'm with head coach Dawn Sachs of Mercy. Dawn, how you doing over there?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm all right. It's good to connect with you and talk some lacrosse. Right?
Yeah,
That's all we
it's
could do right now is
that's
talk.
it. Here we are.
So so listen, you guys you've done some great things up at Mercy, and I think people should know a little bit about it. You want to talk about just the direction of where the program is kind of going ever since you have taken over?
Yeah. So I took over in 2013 for Francesca Di Lorenzo Levine, who is the wife of our current men's lacrosse coach. And she did a great job just getting the program started and getting in, blue collar type athletes, which is kind of what our school is and what our program kind of looks for. Um, and then when I got there, we kind of just continued on with that type of recruiting process. And um, just, I think Coach Karasi and I, we really look for speed and aggressiveness is kind of the way we've kind of gone about our recruiting, along with, really good academic grades to make sure that, we're getting the full student athlete as a full package. And it's been great. We always say it's not about the X's and the O's, it's about the Jimmies and the Joes. And so I think a lot of our success comes from the players that we've really recruited who have seen what our vision was before we were what we are now, and then putting that pen to paper and kind of lifting us to where we were or where we are. My first year, we were, LIU Post was king of the conference, and I think we lost like 22 to or 23-1 at that point. And last year in their last game in Division II, we actually beat them in the conference championship, which was we're like 1-13 all time against them. But it shows our progression, and it didn't happen overnight, and it took us a little bit of time to really kind of get where we want to get and do what we want to do. But we want to play fast, we want to play aggressive, offensively. Like, we want the pretty looks and the Twizzler shots and BTB passes and anything that's going to get that ball in that cage. So it's been fun to watch. A lot of the alumni say I've calmed down a lot as a coach from how I used to be, but I think I was that way because we had a vision and what we knew our program could do. And so, yeah, I've definitely calmed myself down a little bit. But the kids now, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, and they want to show that we can be a true contender in Division II, and I think we've done that.
Yeah, absolutely. You talk about the progression of the program. You also talk about the aggression you're looking for. When you say aggression, I mean, I feel like that that word kind of falls into different categories of life. So can you maybe just talk about like what's that like aggressiveness you're looking for, like on the field versus like, maybe off the field or maybe in the classroom? Like, what are you looking for there?
Yeah, so we want someone that's going to wake up in the morning and attack their day. They're not the kid that's going to lay in bed until 11 a.m. and then kind of stroll to class. And we want student athletes that are quick to the punch. And I think that everything that we do with lacrosse translates to everything that they're going to do later in life. So like I said, really strong academic students, well, that comes from an internal drive. That's not coming from me having you in my office saying, what are we doing here? Like, make sure you get good grades. Like, they have that internal drive. And I think the same thing translates onto the field. And so, when I say aggressive, it's we want to attack. We want to make sure we're playing an attacking style defense. We're not going to sit back and let you attack us, and hopefully we can defend you. We always say we're not playing defense. We're getting the ball to the ground, and we're starting fast breaks going the other way. We are that team that people sometimes go, I'm not sure if we want to play them or we want them on our schedule, which is okay by us. I think the aggressiveness has always been there, and now we're playing a more aggressive style within what our concepts are. So, just attacking the day, I think, is our biggest our asset to, what our students are trying to do both on the field and off.
I like that. I have to make that a hashtag, Coach Sachs. Attack the day. That's good stuff. Now, who are some of your coaching influences growing up?
Growing up, oh my gosh. I don't know. I have a Zoom with my Adelphi alum on Friday night coming. So I guess my coach, she was wild. I tell my kids stories. I'm like, you guys think I'm crazy. Like, and, but I don't know. I never really thought I'd be in college athletics, to be completely honest. I was a teacher on Long Island for 7 years before I decided to make this drastic change. And I was just on the phone with one of our seniors. She's got to make some decisions about whether she wants to return or not. And I said, the biggest decision I ever had to make was, leaving something that I had a degree in, a master's degree, and what I thought my life path was. And I decided to do this, and, the pay wasn't the same. And those are big time decisions, but I wouldn't change it for anything. And I think the relationships I get to make now are so much more significant to my life, and I'm hoping to these kids' lives, that I couldn't see myself doing anything else. But I have that same type of relationship with my coach. Like, she's still in
Mhm.
my phone as coach.
Mhm.
We never got to that first name basis. I respect her for everything she did for us and made us national champions. And um, although very unorthodox at some points, but aren't we all?
Mhm.
I see now as a coach what she did for us, and before every season starts, I always shoot her a text message before our first game and tell her thank you for everything she did to us. And made me a strong player and a strong person. And I had a great high school basketball coach who actually became a really good friend, who was in my wedding party. Um, she was the first female coach I ever had that really showed us that females could be strong athletes and strong role models. So I would say probably those two are the biggest coaching influences. And then, my husband's a big time football and baseball coach here on the island, and um, very, very successful. So constantly seeing his successes really has me, looking to kind of get my team to be as successful, and I think that that's really important. And it's not about the successes as coaches that we have, but, the success that we can create for our students that they can, have for a lifetime, I think is important.
Sure. I hear sometimes, as kids talk and they go through the recruiting process, like, yeah, I'm a D1 prospect. It's like, I'm a D1 player. It's like, okay, I'm not really sure what that means personally when, if you're saying that, and I'm not sure the context. But for you, like, I don't know, if does a D1 player mean they're better than a D2 player? Like, I'm not really sure what they mean by that, but for you, like, I don't know, like, are you looking for a player that can be successful, I guess, at Division 1 level as a Division 2 coach would be, I guess, the question.
So I think what we look for most is just someone that we see that would be the right fit for us, whether that's a Division 1 athlete or a Division 3 athlete or whatever. Yeah, I agree. I'm not really quite sure what those things mean either, but just someone that's really going to fit. Personality wise, it's huge. I'm a pretty, A-type personality. So we've got to be able to dialogue and converse and kind of go at each other a little bit, to really fit in our program. So yeah, I guess, when it comes to that D1, D2 mentality, it's finding the right kids that want to do something at whatever level they're going to wind up at. And, I think that's really important. And for me, like, I played Division 2 lacrosse. Like, Division 2 is the only thing I've ever known, and I love it. I think it's a great option for student athletes that, want to do something, be successful, work, I guess, equally to, academics and athletics while still maintaining some sort of a social life, and, having, I guess, the best of both worlds. So, although we don't do as much as Division 1, with the time commitment,
Mhm.
just let alone I have 5 other job titles on campus, so I don't really get to spend my whole day recruiting or, with my kids
Mhm.
and things like that. So, I think that balance creates really good possibilities for our student athletes. But yeah, it's really just more of like a fit,
Mhm.
and I don't have any problems going after a kid that I see, is going after some of those big time Division 1 schools. And, if they get them, great. If we get them, even better. It's just, it's got to be the right fit, I think.
Sure. So one way I always love to leave the conversation, just based on your experience and your insight, and maybe what you communicate to some of the recruits that you deal with. What's like a general piece of recruiting advice you can offer up to a girl that's kind of going through this right now, especially with the unfortunate circumstances of the season, high school season getting canceled, and obviously college is cut short and whatnot. But what's maybe something you could say to them?
Yeah, I think right now the unknown is just that. It's so unknown. And I think There are schools that have had coaches that have been furloughed and they're not currently working. And there are some schools that are actively recruiting, some schools who aren't, with the eligibility, kind of given back to everyone. The one thing I think I would tell prospective student athletes is just continue to reach out. I think it's more important now more than ever with cancellations that the onus is on the player to get recruited, and to continuously put that ball into the court of the coach. And the coaches don't have the ability to really see them play and then reach out. So having those interactions, I think, is going to be really, really important, and it can't be on the back burner. We have to really structure ourselves, all of us, with the day that we have put ahead, and, committing time to making sure that you're, on the social media of the teams that you're interested in and liking things, commenting. I think all those little things go a long way, and, coaches take notice of things like that. But I really think that because of the landscape we're currently in, it's going to really have to be the student athlete's job to kind of continue that recruiting process. Because there are many different factors that are entering into what we're dealing with right now. And we don't know what the landscape of the summer or the fall is going to be either. So, you don't want to kind of get left behind. And the only way you're going to get left behind is if you don't put in the work yourself.
Fantastic. Well, Coach Sachs, we really appreciate your time and your insight and your advice, and we wish you the best of luck.
Thanks, Corey. Appreciate it.